Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome here to a little more reflection on the game coming up against Malaga tonight. It's a very, very big away game down at La Rosaleda, and I've already done a match preview, as you've probably seen. I did that yesterday, brought it out, but against the Apoel game, Luis Enrique made a lot of big decisions regarding the squad selection and the team selection, and I spoke about the players that he left out and the players that may be starting today. So I thought I'd do the same for tonight. Luis Enrique, of course, only releases his squad on the day of the game. I do quite like that. That's pretty cool. So I just thought I'd do a video for you guys discussing those selections, the players that have been left out, and the players that I expect Luis Enrique to start tonight. So before we go on to the lineup, I just want to talk about the players that Luis Enrique has left out. He's called up a squad to face Malaga, but he's left out Jeremy Mathieu, of course, who has been an absolutely brilliant signing so far. He's been really impressive. He's played in almost every one of our games so far. And he's been really strong, really positive. He's been very, very astute in the tackle. His positioning has always been good. He's got good pace. His distribution of the ball has surprised a few. He's been very, very good on the ball. He's linked up well with Mascherano. Those two have been very, very good as a pair, which leads me to believe that Mascherano won't start tonight, but I'll come on to that later. But I think Mathieu will be a bit of a loss tonight. I think he's been left out just basically because he's played every game. Luis Enrique wants him to rest. We've got, of course, Granada at the weekend, then we've got PSG on Wednesday. So we've got 3 games in the space of 7 days, which is a very, very gruelling schedule coming up. So Luis Enrique has had to rotate his squad somewhat. Of course, the second big absentee has been Dani Alves, who's been left out of tonight's squad with Douglas and Montoya both called up. Interesting decision, of course. Dani Alves is expected to leave the club at the end of the season. A lot of criticism has gone his way, particularly against Villarreal, where his crosses were quite ineffective, where he wasn't as energetic going down that right-hand side. And Luis Enrique does seem quite keen to change things around and certainly give Montoya a chance. And I'll go on to who I think will start in that right-back slot. But Dani Alves is an experienced player. He's a player that's been, playing at the top level for us for years and years now. So every time he is left out of the squad, it still comes as a bit of surprise because he is the main man for us at right back, but it certainly does give a big chance now to Montoya and Douglas to go and impress and try and make that right back position their own. So basically going on, guys, this is the lineup that I think we will see against Malaga tonight. A very, very tough away game, as I say. Luis Enrique will have to make some rotational issues with the squad. He's going to change it around. He's going to give some players some minutes. He's going to rest some players. But I think he'll start with Bravo in goals. We've seen, of course, Ter Stegen impress in the Champions League match against Apoel, but it does seem that Claudio Bravo has been chosen, at the moment at least, to be the league goalkeeper. So he's going to start in goal. Jordi Alba left back. I don't think Adriano has done enough to warrant that left back spot. Jordi Alba can run. The only thing I would doubt about that is that Jordi Alba did have a bit of a blister in the final few minutes against Levante, and it's whether he's okay. But I think he should be fine to start, and I think Jordi Alba will get the nod. Right back, I'm going to go with Montoya. I think Douglas may well get some minutes to make his debut, but I think Montoya is the man that Luis Enrique sees as the heir to Dani Alves' throne. He needs some games. I want to see a bit more of Montoya. I wasn't very pleased with him last season, but this season I think he needs a chance. He needs a bit of game time under his belt. He needs a few games to try and prove himself. So let's see what he can do. I think the centre-back pairing will be Marc Bartra and Gerard Piqué. We saw that against Apoel, those two playing particularly well. Piqué left out on the bench in our last game against Levante. Marc Bartra wasn't included at all, so I think certainly Luis Enrique will give Bartra some minutes, and he did say that in his press conference yesterday afternoon. So I think Bartra and Piqué at the back. I think Busquets was taken off against Levante, so he got a bit of a rest there, so he'll definitely start tonight against Malaga. And the centre midfield is an interesting one because, of course, Ivan Rakitic and Neymar have both been given the medical green light ahead of tonight's game. However, I wouldn't be so sure they would both start because Ivan Rakitic had a bit of a knock. It wasn't a serious injury. It wasn't anything to do with his muscle, but it was a knock with his leg. So, be interesting to see if he starts. Of course, Iniesta does tend to have some rest here and there, so be interesting to see if he starts as well. But I'm not quite sure they'll both start, but that's the most difficult one to predict, I think, the two midfielders. I'm going to go with Iniesta and Rakitic because those are our best duo, and if we want to win the game, we should start with those two. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see Xavi or Sergio Roberto or even Rafinha thrown into that midfield duo. The front three, again, very difficult to predict. I think Neymar will probably start, But again, I would not be a bit surprised to see him left on the bench, because we've seen it against Villarreal, where Neymar was fit. He was fit for the game, but Luis Enrique chose to leave him on the bench and start the likes of Sandro Munir. So it's going to be interesting to see if one of those two can get a start today. But certainly Messi will play. I think Pedro will play as well, because he got a goal in his last game. The confidence hopefully can keep rising for him. Luis Enrique will see there's a bit of confidence going in Pedro's game now, so hopefully he can go and play him in this one. But it's going to be interesting to see what he goes with. And I said this morning, it's so difficult to actually predict what Luis Enrique is going to do, because he's such an unpredictable manager, in a good way, in the good way that he will give everyone a chance. He'll rotate when he feels necessary, and he's not scared to put a youngster in the lineup, and that's really impressive for a young manager. So that's basically the lineup I think we will see tonight, but as I say, very difficult to predict what Luis Enrique will do. Another quick word, Luis Suarez plays this afternoon for the Barcelona B side in a friendly against Indonesia under-19. That kicks off in about 2 hours' time. So be interested to see what he does. Only a month now until he returns. We're all counting down the days for that. Another thing as well, no word yet on Thomas Vermaelen. It was a lot of talk that he would get the medical green light. He's been in full training, so no problems there before today's game, but not a really word on him. So a bit concerned by that. I think hopefully by the Granada game he would get some sort of input, but maybe not. So possibly now you're looking at PSG. Possibly even next weekend until we even see Vermaelen in the squad, which is a shame, and I'm getting a bit worried because the deadlines are going back and back and back. We still haven't seen him, we still haven't even heard anything about him, so that's a slight worry, but we'll have to see what comes up in the next few days regarding that. But let's hope he can recover quick enough, because I think he will be a good signing once we can get him in the team. So that's all for the day's game, guys. Of course, later on and after the Malaga game, I'll be bringing you performance analysis reviews. Whoever plays well, we'll have it all on here. So make sure you join me later on, guys. If you are new, please make sure you subscribe. And, of course, hit that like button if you've enjoyed today's video. So let's watch the game tonight. 3 points is a must, and I'm pretty confident we'll get it. Visca del Barça.